Welcome to RankLens. Today, we count down the top 10 2000s trends that actually changed the world. The 2000s, the decade that wired the world. From the dot-com rubble rose a new internet. From smartphones to social networks, from Google to globalization, a 10-year sprint reshaped culture, commerce, and geopolitics. Some trends we saw coming, others blindsided us completely. But what actually mattered? What left a mark so deep we're still living in its shadow today? We're counting down the 10 2000s trends with the greatest lasting impact, the ones that bent the future. From number 10 down to the trend that changed everything. At number 10, reality TV and the celebrity industrial complex. In 2000, a CBS show called Survivor aired its season finale. 51 million Americans tuned in, more than half the country. What were they watching? Ordinary people living together, voting each other off, competing for money. No laugh track, no script, just real humans forming alliances, backstabbing, scheming, and suddenly, being ordinary became a path to fame. Reality TV proved you didn't need to be an actor or singer. You could be yourself, or a version of yourself, and become a star. The networks loved it too. Reality shows cost a fraction of what scripted dramas demanded. Reality TV established the template, ordinary person as product, self-exposure as currency. That idea didn't go away. 20 years later, it became influencer culture. TikTok stars, YouTube personalities. The 2000s didn't invent vanity, it industrialized it. At number 9, Wikipedia and the Open Knowledge Movement. January 2001. The internet was still young, search still clunky. Then a radical idea launched. What if anyone could write an encyclopedia? No PhDs gatekeeping knowledge. No publishers charging thousands per volume. Just volunteers. Thousands of them. Editing together. Wikipedia reached 1 million articles in English by 2006. 1 million. Written by strangers who would never meet, coordinating in real time across continents. No company owned it. No one got paid. It shouldn't have worked, but it did. Wikipedia proved that crowds could replace institutions, that bottom-up knowledge could outcompete top-down gatekeeping. Traditional encyclopedias, the authority symbols of the 20th century, became obsolete. Within its first decade, Wikipedia cracked the top 10 most visited websites on Earth. The open knowledge movement didn't just disrupt one industry, it redefined who got to be an expert. At number 8, iPod and iTunes, the digital music revolution. 2001, Apple announced a device so simple it seemed impossible: 1,000 songs in your pocket. The iPod wasn't the first digital music player, but it was the one that felt right, beautiful, intuitive, with a scroll wheel that made browsing effortless. Suddenly, you didn't carry a Walkman and spare CDs. You carried everything. Then came iTunes, music store, in April 2003. The first legal place to buy individual songs online. $1 per track. Before iTunes, the industry forced you to buy albums, 10 songs you liked and 8 you didn't. iTunes changed that. You could buy singles. That shift killed physical media. But more than that, it prefigured everything that followed: streaming services, app stores, the subscription economy. The same model, legal, frictionless, affordable, became the template for how we consume entertainment today. The 2000s didn't just kill the CD, it invented the digital marketplace. At number 7, e-commerce goes mainstream, Amazon and the death of brick and mortar. The 2000s didn't invent online shopping, but they industrialized it. Amazon grew from a bookstore into a behemoth, selling everything. But the real game changer came in 2005, Amazon Prime. 2-day shipping for a yearly fee. 2 days instead of 2 weeks. That single promise reset consumer expectations forever. Patience died. Instant became the baseline. Around the same time, PayPal, acquired by eBay in 2002, normalized something crucial: trusting strangers online with your credit card. That sounds simple now. In 2002, it terrified people. But PayPal made it feel safe. Once people trusted online payment and believed in fast delivery, the stampede began. Physical retail started bleeding foot traffic. The supply chains, the logistics, the infrastructure that e-commerce built in the 2000s, that became the plumbing for modern commerce. Click. Wait 2 days. Receive. That simple cycle didn't just disrupt retail, it rebuilt the entire economy around convenience. At number 6, Google Search and the advertising internet. Google didn't invent search, but when Google AdWords launched in 2000, it invented something more dangerous: the surveillance capitalism model. Here's how it worked. Google used PageRank to rank web pages by the quality of their inbound links. Better pages linked to them. By 2004, Google handled the vast majority of global searches. But the real engine was advertising. Google realized it could watch what you searched for and sell that information to advertisers. Pay-per-click. You search for running shoes, and Nike pays for that click. Google didn't sell your data directly. They sold predictions about you, your desires, your needs, your fears. Every platform copied this model. Facebook, Twitter, Amazon, TikTok. Today's entire internet runs on the currency Google invented: behavioral data as commodity. The 2000s didn't just create Google, it created the surveillance capitalism ecosystem. At number 5, China's rise as a global economic power. December 2001. After 15 years of negotiation, China joined the World Trade Organization. To the world, it seemed bureaucratic: press releases, handshakes. But this moment reshaped global manufacturing forever. China's WTO entry made it the world's factory. Suddenly, it was cheaper to manufacture almost anything in China. Labor was abundant. Costs were low. Infrastructure expanded at breakneck speed. Within a decade, China surpassed Japan as the world's second-largest economy. The rise was stunning. But the impact was everywhere. Your clothes, your electronics, your toys. Almost everything came from China. This wasn't just economics, it was geopolitics. Manufacturing gave China leverage. Leverage became influence. Influence became power. The 2000s didn't just make China rich, it made China a superpower. At number 4, the 2008 global financial crisis. In 2008, the financial system nearly collapsed. Banks failed. Credit froze. People lost homes. Lehman Brothers, Wall Street royalty filed for bankruptcy, the largest in U.S. history. The global economy contracted harder than any moment since the Great Depression. Trillions in wealth vanished. Unemployment exploded. But the damage wasn't just financial, it was psychological. People stopped trusting institutions. Banks? Corrupt. Politicians? Incompetent. That erosion of trust never healed. It metastasized. The crisis deepened wealth inequality. The rich got richer while everyone else fell behind. That resentment fueled what followed. Tea Party, Occupy, Brexit, Trump. The Dodd-Frank Act of 2010 restructured finance, but couldn't restore faith. The 2008 crisis didn't just break the economy, it broke belief in the system itself. At number 3, 9/11 and the post-9/11 security state. September 11, 2001. 4 planes, 4 crash sites, nearly 3,000 people dead. The scale of loss was almost incomprehensible. Within 14 months, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security was created, the largest new federal agency since the 1950s. New laws followed: FAST, Patriot Act, military tribunals, extraordinary rendition. The post-9/11 security state was born, and it moved fast. Airport security became a global standard overnight. Liquids banned, shoes off, full-body scans. What was once unthinkable became routine. But the ripples went deeper. Mass surveillance, once a fringe concern, became normalized. The NSA expanded. Data collection expanded. Privacy erosion was sold as safety, and it never contracted. 9/11 triggered two wars that lasted 2 decades, reshaped geopolitics, rewired civil liberties, normalized a security state that Americans had never accepted before. And unlike most security measures, the post-9/11 apparatus never went away. We're still living under it. At number 2, the smartphone era, the iPhone launch. January 2007, Steve Jobs unveiled a thin piece of glass and aluminum, an iPod, a phone, an internet communicator, 3 devices in one. But that undersold it. The iPhone redefined what a computer could be. Before the iPhone, phones were for calls. If you wanted internet, you carried a laptop. If you wanted photos, a camera. If you wanted music, an iPod. The iPhone collapsed all of that into one pocket-sized supercomputer. Then came the App Store in 2008. Anyone could write software and sell it. An economy erupted overnight. Games, utilities, social apps, entire companies born from single apps. Within a decade, smartphones replaced cameras, GPS units, music players, watches. They absorbed entire industries. The smartphone didn't create the internet-connected world. It placed that world in every pocket. And that changed everything. At number 1, the rise of social media. Facebook launched in 2004. YouTube and Twitter followed within 2 years. 3 platforms, built by kids in their 20s. And they rewired civilization. Before social media, reaching people required gatekeepers, a TV network, a newspaper, a radio station. These institutions decided what mattered. They held all power. Social media flipped that. Suddenly, anyone could broadcast to millions. A teenager could post a video and reach more people than primetime TV. Power migrated from institutions to individuals. By 2006, MySpace became the most visited website in the US, a website built by just one of the sex and for users, not networks or studios. Politics moved to Twitter. News broke on Facebook. Influencers replaced celebrities. Social platforms didn't create new media. They permanently shifted power. From broadcast towers to individual feeds, from producers to participants, from institutions to us. What does this ranking reveal? That the 2000s weren't about a single innovation. They were about power shifting, from institutions to networks, from gatekeepers to participants, from the centralized to the distributed. Reality TV made self-exposure a path to fame. Wikipedia proved crowds could replace experts. Google and Amazon showed that data and logistics could be weaponized. Social media handed broadcast power to everyone. And all of it, every trend, every platform, every technology, created winners and losers. Some of us thrived. Others got left behind. The 2000s didn't just change technology. They changed who gets to decide, who gets heard, who gets rich, and we're still arguing about whether that was a win. And that's the top 10 2000s trends that actually changed the world. If you enjoyed this countdown, subscribe to RankLens for more.